Hello, my dears. Hello, my lovely students, my 10th graders. This is Teacher Muntaha with you. Today, we'll start our grammar lesson for for this unit. So, if you remember, we have finished the story of the lady or the tiger, and now we'll introduce the grammar lesson. So, we'll start with our grammar lesson, and this is your grammar worksheet 2, the paper that we didn't have the chance to give it to you because of what happened recently. So focus with me and follow with me because this will be your grammar worksheet 2. This grammar worksheet, we are introducing something in English, we call it relative clauses. And I'm sure that it's something not new for you. Of course, you have an idea about relative clauses. And we mean by relative clauses again that it is a sentence that describes the subject or the object before it, and it starts with what we call it relative pronoun. So I'll start with you. As you see in front of you, when do we use the relative clauses, or why do we use the relative clauses in general? We use relative clauses to give additional information about something without starting another sentence. It means that we use it in order to give information for the previous sentence, but without to start another sentence. We start with a relative pronoun. By combining sentences with a relative clause, your text becomes more fluent and you can avoid repeating certain words. Now, what is the point or the goal behind using the relative clauses? Because when you combine two sentences by a relative pronoun, it makes your text more fluent. It means that it's strong. It means that it's clear. And you can avoid repeating, that we don't have to repeat the thing that you are talking about, the noun or the place or the animal or whatever was the thing that you are talking or want to write about or talk about. So here you have the explanation in Arabic. You can read it in order to make it easier to you. So let's move on. How to form relative clauses. It means when do we say that this is a relative clause, or how to form the relative clause. What is the form of a relative clause? Imagine a girl is talking to Tom. You want to know who she is and ask a friend whether he knows her. You could say, a girl is talking to Tom. Do you know the girl? Now focus with me. Look at this sentence. A girl is talking to Tom. Do you know the girl? Here, if you notice, we have a repetition, that we repeated one word or the thing that we are talking about two times. It is a girl and the girl. So imagine that you are talking to, or you want to know this girl, and you want to tell Tom about this girl. Now you could say, a girl is talking to Tom. Do you know the girl? Now you want to know who's this girl, the girl that is talking to Tom. That sounds rather complicated, doesn't it? It would be easier with a relative clause. You put both pieces of information into one sentence. Start with the most important thing. You want to know who the girl is. Do you know the girl? So, to make it easier to you, we'll start with the thing that you are asking about. Here in this sentence, you are asking about the girl. You want to know who is the girl that Tom is talking to. So you can start easily. Do you know the girl? One time. You don't have to mention the girl two times. And this is the point of using the relative clause. So as your friend cannot know which girl you are talking about, you need to put in the additional information. The girl is talking to Tom. Use the girl only in the first part of the sentence. So we use the girl or the boy or the cat, the thing that you are asking about or talking about or you are identifying here, in the first sentence only once. Then you use the relative pronoun who, and next we will introduce what do we mean by relative pronoun. So the final sentence should be, here we combined two sentences into one using the relative pronoun. Do you know the girl who is talking to Tom? What did we do? We deleted the girl. We use it only once, the first sentence. Then we add who, which is the relative pronoun for the girl. Because next you will know that we use the relative pronoun who with people. in the position of subject or object. So, do you know the girl who is talking to Tom? By this, we combine two sentences into one sentence using relative pronoun. Now, let's introduce the relative pronouns that you should for which we use it for animals and things, and also we use it to talk about people, for people. So that can be instead of which and who. That we can use it instead of which and who. Number 4, we have whom. Whom, it's an object pronoun for people. Yes, we use whom for people, but in the position of object. So, focus. Who, we can use it for object and subject. Whom, it's only for object, when you have this person at the position of object. Now, whose, and here whose, we use it for position, for people, animals, and things. It means, yes, the thing that you can see in Arabic. For position, it means the thing that belongs to people or animals or things. This is the woman whose daughter. This is the cat whose tail is. Next we have where, and you know this relative pronoun, we use it for place, to ask for a place, and especially focus here the place where we have an event in, or there is something happened in this place. For example, the place where I was born, the place where I keep my precious things, for example. And we have the last one, when. We use when for time. When for time. So whenever you talk about time, the day were you born, the year, or a date, this is time, we use the relative pronoun when. So I have here examples of using the relative pronouns, the pronouns that we talked about. Do you know the man who lives next door? Now, who is a relative pronoun referring to the man, and here we're using who in position of subject because we have lives. So who lives next door? The man. So who refers to the man. And we said that we use who for people, and here the people is the man in the position of subject. Number 2, the boy whom we met was very nice. The boy whom we met was very nice. Here we have the relative pronoun whom. We use it and it refers to the boy in the position of object. If you remember, we said who for subject and whom for object. And of course, we can use who for subject and object, but whom only we use it for object. Now, how to make how to know that in this position we are talking about subject, and in this position we are talking about object? It refers to the position of the noun. Who lives, here we have the subject, so it refers to the man. Because of that we used who. But here the boy whom we met whom, you look after the relative pronoun we met, so we need object, so we add whom, refers to the boy. Number 3, did you hear the cat which was screaming? Here we are talking about the cat, and the cat is an animal, and for animals we use which. For animals we use which. Next, this is the boy whose father is a pilot. This is the boy whose father. So here we use whose because we have the word father, and it's belongs to the boy. Whose father? It's not subject, it's not object, it's position. Something belongs to the boy or his father. So father belongs to the boy. We are not talking about the boy, we are talking about his father. So this is the boy whose father is a pilot. Next, this is the place where she keeps her money. This is the place where she keeps her money. Here we have the relative pronoun where, and of course we use it to talk about place, to talk about the place where she keeps her money. So here it is a place, and we use where to talk about this place. I remember the day when we first met. I remember the day when we first met. And here we use the relative pronoun when to talk about the day. So the day is a time. Because of that, we use the relative pronoun when. The day we first met. We are talking about the day because it is a time, we use when. So again, who for people, here it's subject position. Whom also for people in object position. Object, it means that we need object. We met. Whom we met, the boy. So here object. But in the first one, who lives, we need subject. So it refers to the man. Which, it is for an animal or a thing, and in this case for the cat. Whose for position, something belong to the people or to the animal. Whose father, whose daughter, whose car, whose bag. Where is using for place, and when we use it for to talk about time. Here you have some notes. Number one, we can use who instead of who or whom. So I told you that who, we can use it for subject and object. We can use who instead of whom. So who for subject and object, but whom only for object. Number two, we can use that, and this is introduced at the beginning of this video, instead of who, whom, and which in defining relative clauses, and these clauses we'll talk about them later. So that we can use it instead of who and whom and which. So that we can use it in object position, subject position, and to refer to animals and things. Have this exercise and complete. You have to complete these sentences with the correct relative pronoun. I'll read the relative pronoun to you. Here we have whose, where, which, and who. Again, whose, where, which, and who. Let me remind you, when do we use them? Whose, if you are talking about position for someone that the thing that he or she possess, or for animal or thing. Where, to talk about place. Which, for animals and things. Who, for people in object position or subject position, because we said that who can be instead of whom. So first of all, you should read the sentence, identify the thing or the animal or the noun or the place or the time that you are talking about, then decide which relative pronoun you should put. Number one, he is the man, daughter I met in Jordan. He is the man, daughter I met in Jordan. Here, of course, the whole sentence is talking about the man. Now, the man is the man we are talking about the man, so we are talking about people. So you can choose even whose or who. We cannot say where to the man nor which. So you can choose between whose and who. Now you look at the sentence. If it talks about the man in the position of subject or object, you should choose who. If we have positioned something that the man owns or thing that belongs to this man, you should choose whose. So let's see the sentence again. He is the man, daughter I met in Jordan. You are talking about the daughter of whom? The daughter for the man. So here we have position. So the correct answer is whose. He is the man whose daughter, as I mentioned before. Whose daughter, whose father, whose bag, whose tail for the cat or the animal. So here, he is the man whose daughter I met in Jordan. Number two, Qasr Bashir is a Roman castle, is situated in the Jordanian desert. So, Qasr Bashir is a Roman castle situated in the Jordanian desert. Here we are talking about what? We are not talking about people. not talking about animal, we are talking about Qasr Bashir as a Roman castle. So, whose or where or which or who? Now, because it is a place and a thing at the same time, let me remind you with using where and which. Now, where for a place, which for animals and things. For a place, when do we decide that this is a place to put where? If there is something happened in this place. If there is nothing, you should identify this place as a thing. So you should choose which. Now, is there anything happened in this castle situated in the Jordanian desert? We are talking about the location. So nothing happened. So for this time, it's not a place. We call it or we identify it as a building. So we use the relative pronoun which. Again, it's not a place because the place should have something that happened in this place. And here we have nothing happened, because of that we choose the relative pronoun which. Number 3. People love exploring ruins will certainly find a visit to Qasr Bashir very interesting. So people, you are talking about people. So you can choose whose or who. We cannot say where to people or which. Now, if there is position, something belong to these people, we should write whose. If we are talking about subject or object position, we can choose who. People love. Who love exploring? People. So here people, position of subject. Because of that, we should choose who. We don't have like number 1 here something belong to people like daughter or places or bags or whatever. So the correct answer is who. Who love exploring. Position of subject. Number 4. The castle was built at the beginning of the 4th century are still standing. So the castle, now we are talking about the castle, and the castle here is a place. Let's see if there is something happened or not. Was built at the beginning of the 4th century. What do you think? Yes, again it's which, like number 2, because it's a place but nothing happened. We are talking about the building of it. So nothing happened in this place. Because of that, it is a building and nothing happened inside this building. Because of that, we choose which, not where. Number 5. Again, Qasr Bashir had about 23 stables. Yes, stables. Horses may have been kept. Focus here. Qasr Bashir has about 23 stables. Horses may have been kept. Now, the whole sentence is talking about Qasr Bashir, which is a place. So even we have where or which. If there is something happened, there is something inside, yes, we choose where. Nothing happened, we choose which. So let me see. Qasr Bashir has about 23 stables. Horses may have been kept. So it is a place where we keep horses. So we keep something, we do something in this place. Because of that, the answer is where. Where horses may have been kept. We keep something in this place. Because of that, we choose where. Number 6, the person is believed to be responsible for the design of the tower, which was originally a minaret, is Jabir ibn Aflah. So here we are talking about the person, and here we are talking about people. So we have to choose between whose or who. We can't again put where for people or which. So whose or who. If we have position, something belong to this person, we should choose whose. If we have nothing, we should choose who. The person who is believed or whose is believed. What do you think? Is believed, we have the verb, so we need subject. and we have nothing belong to this person, so the answer should be who. The person who is believed to be responsible for the design is Jabir ibn Aflah. So, by this sentence, we finish talking about what do we mean by relative clauses. What is a relative clause? Again, it is a clause that starts with a relative pronoun, and then we move to talk about the relative pronouns, and we mentioned them. You should memorize the use of them, when do we use them, and when to put them in the correct place. Study well. See you soon. Bye bye.